John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth. And the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep. Verse 13, the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. Verse 14, I am the good shepherd and know my sheep and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Verse 16, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Right now, sir, in this current economy, in 2026, there are two folds as we speak from the time of the first century when Christ spake these words until now. There are two folds. Christ says, I have other sheep. They're called Christians. This fold, you guys are called Jews. A fold is a stable. If there were horses instead of sheep, it is said stable. I got two different barn houses. They're Christians are not of this fold. But I must also bring them with me. You understand? Their instructions are not these instructions. You guys do not have salvation. They shall hear my voice. When they hear Christ, they would have believed. When they believe, they'll be saved according to their good news. Later, when I'm done with the Gentiles and the tribulation period is over and Israel receives their salvation and we're in the kingdom, then there will be one fold and one shepherd. Right now, there are two folds and two different gospels, two separate sets of instructions. One is believer, the Christian is saved, past tense. Israel is not, because they rejected God's plan of salvation for them in the first century when it was offered to them. They crucified Christ. You understand? So their instructions are not the same. You would not give the same set of instructions to a group that is lost to a group that is not lost. Like, you understand? So his plan to save Israel was rejected by Israel when they rejected his messiahship. But he made a promise to Abraham in Genesis chapter 3, Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 3, that he would say that all families of the earth shall be blessed through Abraham. The blessing is Jesus. Jews said no to the blessing. So that nullifies God's promise to Abraham that he would save all families. Not all families except Israel, all families including Israel. But they rejected the plan of salvation. So the question is, what is God's contingency for them? That contingency is the 7-year tribulation period, where they must die and be beheaded in order to become saved. We don't endure that same salvation. When Christ says he who endures to the end, the question is, to the end of what? He's talking about to the end of the 7-year tribulation period. Whoever endures to the end of the tribulation. And that's Matthew 24. And in Matthew 25, he comes and he lines the goats up on the left and the sheep up on the right. Because the sheep would have endured to the end of the tribulation. You understand? So now when Christ comes, he tells the goats to enter into the pits of hell, and he tells the sheep, you may come into the kingdom. You understand? But right now, there are two folds. We're not the lost sheep. And in Matthew 15:24, he says, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's Matthew 15:24. We're not lost. Can't be lost and saved. The book of James says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you can't be lost and saved. Neither can Israel be saved and lost. We're saved, they're lost. Romans 11:25, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant of this mystery, So whoever is the writer of Romans 11, he got some mysteries from God that no man knew before him, which is the Apostle Paul. So when you said, where is our gospel? I said Romans through Philemon, because the Apostle Paul is the writer of those 13 unadulterated epistles. Romans through Philemon. He is the apostle to the Gentiles. Jesus and the 12 were the apostles to the Jews, to Israel. That's why there's 12 disciples and 12 tribes. There was one. They're indicative of one disciple per tribe. You understand? And Deuteronomy, when Moses tell Israel that I will make you, that God will provoke you to jealousy by a nation who is not a nation, by a foolish nation. Is the Christian a nation? No. Is Israel a nation? Yes. Sodom and Gomorrah were nations that were judged. Israel is a nation that will be judged, right? So all through the Bible, God judged nationally. He judged nations. But the Christian, there's no nation called the Christian nation. But he brought us into the fold to bring them to jealousy, to provoke them to jealousy, so that they might also be saved.